And we are back.
What is going on?
I don't know. And we are back. And we just finished watching The Night is Short, Walk On Girl from 2017, rated PG-13 with a runtime of 1 hour and 32 minutes, according to IMDb. Although I think it said 1:33 on HBO Max. This is currently streaming on HBO Max. And this is the story of a young woman and her night of just crazy, surreal adventures.
Is it? Honestly, I felt Senpai was
the lead,
more of a main character than she was.
Honestly, yeah, kind of, because he actually has like a desire. Shut up. He actually had like a desire that he was trying to go through it while she was just seeing where the night took her.
Yeah, like
she was really go with the flow.
Yeah, she was. Yeah, exactly.
Well, he had motivation.
He had motivations to swoon her.
Yeah,
yes.
kind of.
Yes.
To win her,
to win her affections.
I guess to win her affection. I mean, he always loved her and saw her from afar, and her thing was, I want.
Well, no, he didn't always see her from afar. Remember, he created opportunities.
He stalked her.
Abho.
Approach.
Always be.
Wait.
Oblivious around her.
I don't know.
I forgot what it was.
He made an acronym for it.
Yeah,
Always appear.
No.
Often.
No.
Something like that.
Appear before her often?
Yes.
There you go.
Ding, 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 ding. Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
I don't really know if that's the thing. It might
I think that is it.
It's close enough.
Yeah. And that's basically what it was. He created opportunities for himself to always be within her. Yeah. So that and then
he said he calls it by chance,
right? Where she would say coincidence, but he would always.
I would say they were the two focal points of the movie, but as far as a sense of character, you learned more about him, Senpai, than you did about her. In fact, she's just the girl with the black hair,
black-haired girl,
black-haired girl, and she's sort of just like G said, she's just like going through everything. It's sort of like, oh, what's next? Hey, there's a book fair. Oh, what's next? Oh, there's the school festival. Oh, what's next? There's a drinking contest.
Alcohol.
And she was obsessed with alcohol.
She could drink like
a dude. Yeah, it was wild.
Honestly, I'm not surprised.
For a skinny little thing, I was really impressed.
You saw that as soon as the alcohol entered her, it just like evaporated.
Yeah.
Into butterflies.
I don't understand how they all didn't die from drinking.
She should have. Seriously,
she was mixing
there
crazy
was,
drinks. Yeah.
Not only that, but the quantity she drank. There was the scene where she's in with all the old men, and they're like,
she drank like 6 bottles.
Yeah, she's standing next to a table that has at least 6 bottles, and he's like, "You drank all of this?"
Yeah,
and she's like,
"Yeah." Four bottles into one cup, and I guess she drank that.
She drank all that. She drank the crazy mystery wine that everybody's. What was it?
She drank like so many cups of alcohol when that guy was harassing her.
And then she participated in that weird dance.
Yeah, the weird bent over floor dance that everybody started doing. Yeah. And I don't think the human body could physically do that.
Yeah.
At least not the way they were.
Yeah.
And they puckered their lips like fish.
And nobody... of everybody, I think only one person showed the effects of extreme alcohol abuse.
When he threw up
all over the guy's erotic artwork.
Oh no! What about the guy who came into the room and there were like people at a table? It looked like they were in a restaurant, and then he just like.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
I didn't think the erotic art was there. I thought it was.
No,
that's what they were doing there. They were looking at it.
And then it got thrown out the window, and there was vomit all over the dirty pictures.
But they were covered up with vomit.
Yeah.
So according to IMDb, the storyline for this film is, as a group of teens, I don't know if they were teens, right? They're in college. As a group of teens go out.
Sophomores in college, so yeah.
As a group of teens.
No, I think they're like getting out of college.
No.
Sophomore means you're in your second year.
As a group of teens go out for a night on the town, a sophomore known only as the girl with black hair experiences a series of surreal encounters with the local nightlife, all the while unaware of the romantic longings of Senpai, a fellow student who has been creating increasingly fantastic and contrived reasons to run into her in an effort to win her heart. So yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty accurate description of what this story is about. It is very trippy. It is very out there. doesn't really have a cohesive story.
It's almost like a series of vignettes that sort of just lead you to the final, which ends in some sort of weird fever dream. And I kind of like wonder, like there were certain characters I wondered if they even really were real characters, like that guy with the big round chin. He didn't, like, was he a human being I mean, there was literally a god.
Yeah.
The god of book fairs.
Yeah.
So, the god of bookmarks.
The god of used.
The god of used book markets.
But that was a child.
A child could be a god.
No,
yeah, this is a very... I mean, I have to out myself and say that I fell asleep during portions of this film.
You say that so often.
I know. It is so...
It was
Dad
so
fell
funny.
asleep too, I think.
I didn't fall asleep
Dad
at all.
didn't fall asleep at all, and neither did I.
I pretended to fall asleep at the end.
You pretended.
I think you
And then
poked
I
me
got
twice.
stuck on the
You
couch.
poked me once.
I
and
was
you
laughing.
yelled at me once.
Dad yelled at you, and I was laughing at you because I could see your head like lolling back.
And then at one point, I was like... I forgot. I don't know if it was a you or you. And I was like...
It was me.
You can't hide it because as soon as you fall asleep, I hear the change in your breathing. It's just suddenly it's just like, and then I know it's okay. She fell asleep.
So I apologize, but what I saw 80% of this film.
Probably more. I only caught you had fallen asleep that one time.
So
no, I think Mom missed a little more than 20%.
All right, maybe
think it might
75,
have been
maybe 70, 75. I saw about 70 or 75% of this film, and I enjoyed it. It was a very trippy story. There were some very larger than life characters.
I think there were some larger than life characters, but I think there were too many characters because I remember them being there, but I don't remember them having any sort of like name or personality. Like the girl that was with the guy with the big chin.
Yeah.
Nyoko? Yeah, she was fairly useless
She was
She
weird.
spread the disease.
And then there was the girl that really loved Underwear Boy.
Oh God, I felt so bad for her.
That was just sort of, it was like, okay, well, here's the plot twist. So obviously he can't get what he wants. He finds what he wants, and he doesn't. And it's not really what he wants, but
he says he doesn't care.
He doesn't care, but it's still
weird.
It's still not. I guess it's not going to work out. And yeah, because apples bonk their heads at the same time, and the girl, I guess, who was his assistant. Although, why would a guy who never changed his underwear have an assistant?
It was all for the sake of his apple girl.
Yeah,
he created that entire ballistic play just to confess his feelings.
Yeah.
So I guess he needed an assistant for that.
Yeah, but apparently she loved him, and
for whatever reason.
We don't really get any hint of that throughout the entire movie up until the part where she's standing on the ladder and says, "Hey,
confessing her love for him.
I love you."
Yeah. Why can't you notice me?
Why can't you notice me? I guess that's maybe part of the film too, is just telling you to just don't build this moat and make all these plans and never actually do anything with it, to actually act on it.
I wish the theater guy became
feelings.
a girl.
What's that?
The theater director of
The festival
men.
director. He
Oh,
said
the
he was
festival
going to
director.
turn into a lady.
Yeah, he said he was going to turn into a lady.
That was weird, but
I
okay.
wish he did. That would be amazing.
It could have been like Orlando. Remember that book, Virginia Woolf?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it could have. There was, like I said, there was
very fantastical.
literally a god walking around at some point. And that crazy
old man
spicy eating contest, the old guy who lived on the train.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was definitely a lot of weirdness. Surreal is an excellent
word for this.
Word to describe this movie.
What do you think? Big Cocaine wrote this?
Definitely.
Maybe,
No.
but
Yeah,
I think there were I think other drugs may have been involved to temper the cocaine.
Hallucinogens, for sure.
But yeah, because I could follow along with this. It wasn't just complete mayhem.
No.
There was a lot of like whimsy and stuff that sometimes felt a little self-indulgent, and I think that could have been streamlined a bit. But
all in all, it wasn't too bad.
It's an anime. There you have this through anime, you have the ability to just make really weird stuff go on, and you can exaggerate people's appearances and all of that. So it fits. I can't. If this was live action, I'd want to just tear my eyes out.
Yeah, agreed.
But with anime,
and it wasn't like too much. Like, I mean, there was like singing, which I know is not that people don't like musicals, but I think it has to be done properly, right? I think if you're doing something like that, I think
the singing was only part of the play.
Right.
It wasn't it wasn't like a musical number where everybody just starts dancing like Bollywood. So.
Right. Yeah. So I think, I mean, this film had a lot of elements to it. Or it's animated. It's a story about someone being in love, and sort of it's unrequited because she has no clue.
She basically has no idea he exists until the very end, which was also something I don't know. It's just sort of like, if you're gonna make a love story, make it about two people who find out about each other and fall in love, rather than one guy pursuing another. Or one guy pursuing a love interest.
One guy pursuing another.
Stop talking.
One guy pursuing his love interest, and you're only really getting that one side. And she is not interested in any sort of romantic entanglements or shows until the very end.
Right, where she's put on by the festival director that senpai's got a thing for her.
Yeah. And it's
and
sort
then
of
all
like,
of a sudden she's like, huh?
Yeah, it's sort of like kind of out of the blue.
Yeah.
I guess it's more like, okay, well, she's going to give it a chance, but he's ready to settle down.
Yeah.
Which is a bit one-sided.
No, because didn't they have the entire fantasy about them like having kids?
Having a kid. This guy was really invested in this relationship that didn't exist yet.
Yeah.
And she didn't even know he existed, really. It was just sort of like, oh, right, that's that guy that I keep running into.
Yeah.
Her main interest was drinking, which is also another aspect of the story. If you look at it seriously, is that's not good relationship material. Yeah.
But that's I mean, that's what most young people do in college. They sow their wild oats.
They do.
Party.
But the thing, they don't really dwell upon any of the negatives of drinking. Like, nobody gets drunk in this. It looks pretty.
I mean, there's that shot when she goes into that bar the first time where she meets up with the guy who's groping her, and that like it's like, what is it, 4 drinks? They're all beautiful, colorful, and then the next line is they're all empty.
Yeah, they look delicious.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. Like, even the gropey guy, it's sort of like she goes and visits him when he's sick.
I know. I would have been like, that guy.
He was the pervert with the heart of gold, apparently.
Well, everybody felt bad for him because he was a terrible dad who forsook his daughter. Lost his pornography collection, but also forsook his daughter on an important day, although you never find out what the importance of the day is.
She got married. Yeah.
I thought she was already married.
No, she was there. Well, I think that was the day she got married. And that other guy was like, you should marry for love. You should have married me.
Yes. And that was cringy.
He appears later on just like holding a fence with a big sign hanging off his butt. I don't know.
The only thing that bothered me about her was that her parents taught her martial arts. And they taught her the wrong way because they told her to put her fist
Yes. Please don't follow the punching instructions.
The punching instructions.
Put your thumb outside of your fist.
Correct. Thank you for bringing that up, Ology. I'd forgotten about that. I know that when that was happening, G and I looked at each other like, that can't be right.
Yeah, that's polite punching. Is that what she was calling it?
Friendly punch.
Yeah.
Friendly punch. Yeah. No.
I would have been curious to see.
Thumb on the outside. Always.
I would have been curious to see the punch of death.
She said she never learned that.
No, she said she would never be able to do that in public.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's another story.
All right. I'm going to go around the table and get impressions. Olive G, what did you think of this film? Did you like it? Did you hate it?
I thought it was good.
Yeah, what'd you like about it?
What the hell?
We should sample that for a rap song in the 80s. There are like dozens of songs like that, weren't there?
You'd know it. Yeah. You'd know it.
Wait, what were you asking me?
Why did you like this film? Or Or what did you like about this film?
I guess the fact that all of this looked like it was on crack.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Fair enough.
Every single scene, like when they were going to bars, like some people were like floating and everyone was on crack, and there was that fish.
Nobody was on crack.
They were all
Some people were probably on crack.
Yeah, we
There
don't
was
know.
there was that big
Probably
chin guy liked
hallucinating.
smoking. I don't know what he was smoking, but he was good at blowing out stuff. Yeah.
That was cool because
Opium.
at first he blew up.
It could have been
little
opium,
birds,
yeah.
And then he did that whole huge fish.
I
Yeah.
think that was another guy.
No, that was
That
him.
was the big chin guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
He had a
And like
big
he was
chin.
dressed like an old like wandering Ronin or something. Everybody's wearing modern clothes and he's just wearing like robes with big sleeves that he doesn't
And
use.
wooden
And he
sandals.
stole
And those
people's
wooden sandals with
pants.
only like one peg in the
Yeah.
middle. That couldn't
He
be
stole
comfortable.
people's pants.
And he would steal people's pants. Yeah.
He would find
No, he found those pants. The pants
then
were
he put them
the
on.
little tiny old man would get his goons to steal people's pants.
No, he would get
And
them to
underwear.
steal his underwear,
Yeah.
not his pants.
Well, you got to get through the pants to get the underwear.
Oh my god. All right. Did
they
you have
did
a,
the pants.
did you have a favorite character in this ology?
Uh,
What is going on over here? Black-haired girl?
no.
No?
She actually wasn't my favorite character. Was that another movie? I think that was another movie, actually.
Sheesh.
I think my favorite character was... this is a hard decision.
Just pick
Because there were so many or because there weren't any?
Because there were so many.
Oh, okay.
I guess my favorite character was the girl that you said had no purpose.
Oh,
in
the girl that with the big chin guy?
Round chin guy's friend.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
All right.
I liked her.
Okay.
Mostly because she persuaded that guy into drinking with her.
All right.
Oh, she got them into the party.
Because she was so weird. She was like licking that woman's face.
That was weird.
I mean, when you're drunk, you do a lot of questionable
Yeah.
activities.
Maybe
sure.
her face was
Clearly.
coated in coke.
You don't lick coke, you fool.
Well, maybe she licks coke.
No.
And
All
she
right,
did
let's
not
stop
have
talking.
All right,
let's
let's
stop
stop
talking
talking
about
about
how to do drugs. Okay.
Maybe she didn't want to
I
snort
don't know
it.
what is going on here.
Gigi, did you have a favorite scene in this? It's okay. We can spoil it. It's from 2017.
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
No.
No? You don't have a favorite scene?
Nah. I mean, some scenes were funny, but like I can't really remember if I had a favorite.
Okay. What about character? Did you have a favorite character?
I like black-haired girl because she
Black-haired
was like, her whole go with the flow thing. Like she didn't have any anxiety about doing anything. Like she
Yeah.
was fully on board with that acting thing. I would have been like, hell no.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I guess I liked her confidence.
absolutely. That's definitely a word I would use with black-haired girl. She just sort of like you said, just goes with the flow.
Yeah.
She's all signed up for whatever adventure comes her way. She meets
She
strangers
is-
and then just starts.
She has surrendered to
Borhaven.
fate, whereas Senpai was plan.
True. Very good. Very good. What about you? Did you have a favorite scene and or character?
I don't know if I had a favorite scene. I mean, like I said, some of it looked very rudimentary. Other parts of it looked very pretty. The art style was interesting.
Yes, agreed.
I wasn't bored by it. Everything looked pretty where it needed to be. I like the one thing I always found strong with anime is just the way you were able to like hyper convey emotional states or exaggerations, and that's true of any animations. It tells without, or it shows without telling. It's really good at that. Character wise,
I mean, if you think Senpai is
I think he's the main character. Is he my favorite character? I don't know. I don't think I had a favorite character in this.
no. Did you dislike anything about the story?
Nothing that I haven't just covered really. Like I feel the love story. It wasn't much of a love story. It was more of a pursuit of love. And the love story is going to happen after those credits roll.
Right. When
And
they're
after they go on their first date, and they just like when they were meeting at the coffee shop, he's thinking, "Oh, I wonder what happened to her that night. I
Right.
wonder what stories she'll tell me." And she's thinking the same thing.
Right.
I wonder what happened to him that night. I wonder what stories he'll tell me.
right.
And that's okay. That's when the love story or the lack of will happen. But this was more of like a pursuit of love. And I guess that was okay. It did a good job as far as that goes. Like I said, I didn't hate this movie. It's not my favorite movie.
No.
But overall, yeah.
I think I like it a little bit more than I think the last animated movie we saw was My Father's Dragon.
I thought it was Kiki's.
Well, I mean,
We didn't review
we didn't
it.
review
Right.
it, yeah. But like that
This
was
was
better.
better than
My
My
Father's.
Father's Dragon.
Yeah, My Father's Dragon wasn't very good.
Yeah, and I think before that we had seen Belle.
Belle, I like this more than Belle.
I like this more than Belle as well.
Was kind of a mess. It was
Yeah.
the anime in Belle was way more technically
Sleeker.
advanced. It was
Yeah.
way sleeker. This a lot of this felt like super hand drawn. Some of it felt, and the character designs very like 80s anime style.
I was gonna say
You know,
like 80s,
old,
90s.
Yeah, like the stuff
the
we
90s.
used to watch when we'd come home from school. with
yeah.
everything.
Like
I like
Sailor
the way
Moon.
this looks better than Belle. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, this like I said,
It was
you,
more
you
interesting
get,
to
you
look
get
at.
more you get more feeling from these characters than you do when it's everything's all super sleek and
Almost perfect.
Almost perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, that has its place. I feel like that looks better in more serious, like sci-fi type anime stories.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this wasn't that. This was supposed to be a comedy,
Romantic comedy. I guess.
comedy, and this really it worked well. It did. It fit.
Yeah. I agree with I think everything everyone said. I think my favorite character too is the black-haired girl. I think I enjoyed this sort of plucky young, let's just go wherever the day takes us kind of attitude. You don't really see that a lot in stories, and
Not without terrible ramifications.
yes. And I mean, some of this stuff could have ended poorly, but it didn't.
This wasn't that
luckily
kind
for
of
her,
movie.
but it wasn't that kind of movie exactly. So I appreciated seeing a character like that. I appreciated her not being silly and doing dumb stuff to please a boy or to
Yeah.
get a boy's attention. It wasn't that kind of story either. Again, it was senpai pursuing the black-haired girl.
Yeah.
So, and she's just living her life, having fun, making friends, being a decent human being by going to visit the sick and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And also just being open to experiences. I think that's a really great message for young people. Obviously not to excess, but I think when you're young, that's when you're most likely, or you should be making mistakes and trying to figure your stuff out.
Yeah, I got to be honest. When I was watching it and seeing how she was going through things, it did remind me of the sort of
College life.
mindset that you had when you were younger and in college, and you would just sort of get something in your head and be like, all right, we're doing this.
Yeah.
I'm going to find some book from my childhood, or
Yeah.
well, let's go look for this record that I saw, or I remember hearing at some point.
Yeah.
And just like going on a quest to find the record, or shoes in your case.
How dare you?
Come on. I've heard this story 50,000 times.
Probably more.
Poor Lenny. But yeah, that's how you were. You just sort of, I got nothing else to do, so let's do this. It's time to quest.
Yeah.
And it would generally be a quest for something stupid, but you had fun. It wasn't
Yeah.
really about finding the thing. It was
It's
just
just
the
the
adventure that
experience, yeah.
you had. And,
Yeah.
and the people
And I
you
think
met.
it makes for great storytelling later on, obviously.
Yeah.
It's part of your historical tapestry of life. So, and as long as you're not doing stuff to hurt yourself or other people, right? I always say, like, in your youth is when you should do all the fun, stupid stuff, because as you get older, you're expected to be more mature and responsible, and
you're just more tired.
And you're
you don't
just
have
more
the
tired.
energy
You
for
don't-
that
nonsense
nonsense.
anymore. No, no,
Let's go trekking across Manhattan. Nah,
no.
I'm gonna sit here.
Yeah, let us drink until we're like a bottomless
Yeah.
pit. Oh my
I
God.
got a good chair at the bar. I'm not
I'm not going anywhere. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, numbers. I'm gonna go the other way. Gigi, 1 to 10. What would you give this film?
I give it an 8 because
An
I
8.
liked it.
What about you, Olive G? 1 to 10.
You're full of noises today. There we go. Keep them up.
Stop being mean.
Sorry, I'm trying to be mean.
I give this movie an 8.
8.
Awesome.
I'm gonna give this movie a 7.5. I think from where it starts to where it ends, it's quite an adventure. It's not a typical storytelling, but it is interesting. It looks great. There's a bunch of really interesting characters. There's a bunch of really interesting almost sequences of shots. There's things that, like, because I guess it's 2D, I could see just really cool, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess just really cool visuals, yes. Really cool visuals of stuff. I love the scene where the fish are flying from the sky.
Yeah.
I love the scene where we were talking before about the drinks, all pretty and colorful.
That was cool.
Yeah, and that's another thing about the film. It's sort of like, I don't feel like they wasted anything. When there was a mention of something, it played a part later on.
They were big on alcohol.
There was that, true. But I'm just talking about like with the fish, like you mentioned. Yeah. The guy mentions it's almost like an aside what happens to the fish, and then the fish play a part an hour later. So they didn't. There was no wasted storytelling, and there's some points where while I was watching it in the early parts of the movie where I was just like, okay, this is just you're just wasting time. You're just spinning your wheels. Yeah. But no. It all adds up. Yeah, it all comes back together. Everything is connected. Yeah. Everything is wrapped up in a nice, neat little bow.
And the other thing, I don't know if this is stereotyping, but I went through a phase of watching Korean soap operas. And to me, anyway, like, I would look at characters and I'd be like, I mean, maybe it's very superficial, but I'd be like, oh, they're so cute. They're such a cute couple. And I think even in this story, I'm looking at Senpai and the girl with the black hair, and I'm like, they're adorable. I love the way the girl with the black hair is drawn. There's something very beautiful and innocent, but playful. And like unassuming.
But not like,
no.
Not like that. Not like her eyes. I like the way her eyes were drawn because they weren't just like big, wide.
Right.
I'm innocent. That sort of thing. Yeah, it looked like she had thoughts in her head.
Yes, and the way to it's amazing how, I mean, this isn't as detailed as something like Pixar would make, but you still kind of like what you were saying before, you still see a lot of emotion in the face, the facial expressions, the eyes and stuff like that, where it's conveyed. And it's interesting because it's not an actor. It's a 2D character. So, I mean, to me, that's very interesting because it's like, here's a drawing that is basically emoting. So, I mean, I love that. And then just looking at Senpai and the way his physicality is too, just like this tall, kind of dorky guy with glasses, dark hair. That's totally in my wheelhouse.
Simping for someone
so
he doesn't
we can end this now.
Okay.
I'd give it a 7.
7. So 7, 7.5, 8. I think if you haven't seen it, go on over to HBO Max and check out The Night is Short. Walk on, girl. That's such a wild title.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking at the trailer, expect more of that, right?
The trailer.
Yeah, I think that the trailer.
I don't think it tells the full story.
The trailer gives you a good hint of what's going on. I think they make you believe the story is primarily just about the girl. They don't really tell you much or give you much of a hint about Senpai in the trailer. But I mean, she's the catch. She's the hook. So that makes sense.
Yeah. All right, so definitely check it out. It's fun. It's colorful. There's nothing objectionable in it. Well, I mean, if you don't want kids to see about drinking, I guess.
Or erotic artwork.
Oh, yes, erotic artwork. But it's covered, which is hilarious. There's always
barely covered. Barely. Generally, it's like old woodcut sort of Japanese erotica with like spinning flowers over the genitals.
Yes.
So you are. It may not be for little kids.
No.
It's a PG-13.
Plus they. I mean, let's be honest. They glorify drinking heavily in this movie.
Yes, they do.
They don't show any negative aspects.
Yeah.
So probably not for kids.
Yeah. Okay. So like maybe 14 and up.
Yeah.
Okay.
And explain to your kids
14.
you cannot drink tons without feeling some sort of negative.
There will
like
be ramifications.
The girl with the dark hair and most of the characters
Don't be like the girl
never
with
even
dark
got
hair.
never even got tipsy.
Yeah.
Never even slurred their language or became a little bit off their feet. They were like 100% fine the entire evening.
I also
And even when I was in college or whatever, and in college you could
a few drinks in, you feel it
more. Yeah, I mean, depending on who you're with, but yeah, that's not possible. What the amount of drinking that was going on.
I also appreciate that they were responsible enough to not get behind the wheel of a car. If you are going to partake in libations, please make sure to keep yourself safe, but also make sure to keep other people safe and don't drink and drive. And that's it for us, and we will bid you all a good night.
Good night.
Night.